Hello, you're watching World Talks. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. Let's get started. As anti-corruption prosecutors seek nearly $10 million in bail for former Energy Minister Herman Halushchenko, Ukraine's institutional resolve is once again under scrutiny. The case unfolds amid ongoing peace talks in Geneva and continued Russian strikes on energy infrastructure, placing governance, accountability, and national credibility under a shared spotlight. We're now joined by Andrii Biletskyi, Administrative Director of Anti-Corruption Research and Education Center, a think tank at the Kiev Mohyla Academy. Good to have you on TVP World. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here.
Andrii, let's begin with the latest out of Geneva. This is day 2, and we just have information that the trilateral discussions have begun. We didn't hear much from yesterday. What are your expectations of day 2? Do you think we're going to get anything out of concrete details at the end of today?
Well, to be honest, I think these trilateral negotiations are really pushed by the United States government rather than the Russia itself. So I'm not expecting much, maybe some sort of agreements or anything. From what I heard, that the United States, of course, said that these negotiations, they have a breakthrough among the parties, but from Russian side and from Ukrainian side, there is no really, no solution to the existing problem and to the existing war. Russia is still pushing for the Ukrainians to leave Donbas region, and of course Ukraine is denying this demand by saying that we will stand where we are now and we will start negotiations from this point.
Mm-hmm. And we have some information from a report, or rather an article that was given to Axios. This is President Zelensky speaking to Axios on Tuesday. Now, in that, in short, he's kind of saying what you've just mentioned there, that Ukrainians would reject any agreement that involves unilateral withdrawal from Donbass, and has called that not fair, and not fair for the Americans to pressure Kiev in this position. So, I mean, if we have something like this, at what point, I mean, it's tough to maybe answer, but you have also that pressure from the U.S., that political pressure. You have also that public pressure from the Ukrainian side that doesn't really want to let this go. So in which direction do you think ultimately President Zelensky has to go in all this?
I think he should find this golden middle position in order to satisfy both U.S. administration and, of course, Ukrainian society, because, I mean, it's all about Ukraine. It's not about the U.S., and it's not about U.S., losing a part of their country and part of their territories. It's about Ukraine, first of all. So we need to find a solution which is both okay with Ukrainian society and with the U.S. department. So, of course, it's going to be hard to find this middle ground for both of the parties. But, as you already mentioned, pushing Ukraine for a truce, which is not fair for us, is, I think it is too much.
Mm-hmm. Let's also talk about active pressure. We have Ukraine facing active war, hostilities. At the same time, pressure here also politically, looking at some sort of ceasefire deal, pressure there. And also, I think, high-level, let's say, corruption at the same time. I want to jump into that for a moment, because now we have the latest from the former Ukrainian Energy Minister, Mr. Herman Halushchenko, who has been apprehended some days back. There's bail now posted by the prosecutors of almost about $10 million US. Tell us a bit more about this. What does that signal to us, and what that means for Ukraine?
Well, first of all, it means that our anti-corruption institutions are working. So we are not, closing our eyes on high-level corruption which is happening in the country. Of course, it is also bad for the reputation of Ukraine. But again, it is showing that this particular case is showing us that actually anti-corruption authorities, they are independent in their work, and they are trying to fight corruption on each level of the government. They don't look actually whether it's a friend of the president, where it's a member of the team of the president, ex-member, or active member of the cabinet of ministers. So I think we should look at this case from the positive point of view, saying that we have established independent anti-corruption authorities which can bring anyone to the responsibility.
Mm-hmm. And how has this also unfolded domestically? I mean, what is the view from ordinary Ukrainians? I mean, not that long ago, I believe it was last year, around, I think, middle of the year, President Zelensky was trying to actually change the law with anti-corruption. I mean, he ultimately, through public pressure, rescinded that. What's the Ukrainian perspective looking at a case like this? Is there more trust in the government? Is there less? How do ordinary people look at this?
Of course, when such cases happen, we have lower trust in the government, of course, because each corruption scandal causes the major breakdowns in the polls, level of trust to the government. But on the other hand, ordinary citizens, and especially citizens who took part in this protest on last July in 2025, when this law was passed in the parliament to trying to dismantle independence of the anti-corruption institutions. So this case actually showed why they went to protest for the independence, why it was needed. And I think this part of the society, they are fully satisfied with the result, because again, if we didn't have independent anti-corruption institutions, we wouldn't have seen this case, for example. It would have been continuing, right? So, and nobody would know that we lost, unfortunately, a lot of money during the preparations of the energy sector for the bombings by Russians.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want to ask you if you can tell us to what regard, because we're dealing here with the former energy minister, also energy that is key, especially in the wintertime. I mean, how much of a role, if you can tell us, was the energy minister in, let's say, dealing with Ukraine's energy resilience? Is there any sort of, let's say, does this make this case more high profile? Will we see something beyond this? Any deterrence, any other ramifications because of this case?
Well, this case actually, like from the materials of National Anti-Corruption Bureau, this case started right in the beginning of the war. But Mr. Halushchenko, he was actually the head of the Energoatom. This is the state enterprise which is responsible for the atomic energy in the country. And by the materials of NABU and materials of the investigative journalist, he was actually doing so when he was in the Energoatom. So this was even back before the war, before the COVID started. So he was deeply entrenched in this scheme with the public procurements. So yeah, of course, I mean, this is a huge deal for us, because this level of corruption, I think we have never seen before on this high level, I would say. We have never seen before. And of course, this probably could mark the beginning of the unfold of other corruption cases similar to this one, if they going to be disclosed or by the anti-corruption authorities.
All right, so a lot of pressure on multiple fronts for Ukraine. Thank you for all that information and expertise. Really appreciate it. That was our guest here, Andrii Biletskyi from the Kyiv Memorial Academy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.